What's going on, Pixel Hackers? Christian Lovrecich from PixlFeed here. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to properly allocate your Facebook ads budget. But before we get started, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive right in. So the answer right away, it's going to be, well, it depends. Is it a brand new account? Is it an established account? Is it your own store, your own brand, or are you doing this for a client? So before we can decide where we're going to allocate our budget for our campaigns, we have to answer a series of questions. So let's go over those questions. So I already said the number one. Is it a brand new account? And this is a very important question because you're not going to allocate the budget the same way that you would do with an established account. And the reason why we have to ask that, because if it's a client or is it a store that you already have, we have to ask the second question is like, how much traffic are they already getting, right? How much traffic are they already getting? Are they just getting like 100 people a day? Are they getting 5,000 people a day? Because depending on the amount of people that they're getting on their site, that's gonna change my strategy, right? So that's something you gotta think about. The other thing you gotta think about is, are they SEO heavy? Meaning, do they have a lot of organic content out there? Is this traffic just a spike from an, influencer campaign or an influencer post that just happened one day? Like for example, I have a client who's been on Shark Tank. So while they don't have any SEO, they don't have any organic reach because they don't have SEO, they don't have organic content. Every time the show airs on Shark Tank, we get a spike on traffic that lasts about 7 days. So this is something that's very important for you to know because this is what's going to set the stage for how you're going to set up your campaigns properly, right? To take advantage of that traffic in that week, right? Or is it, if they're SEO heavy, that means they're getting constant traffic and their average amount of visitors a month could be, 50,000 visitors a month, right? So that's a very important thing to know right off the bat, right? Another thing that's very important that you must know, right, is do they have a best-selling product? Or do they have a bunch of best-selling products? Because if I know that they have a best-selling products or a couple of best-selling products or a few best-selling products, that's going to change my strategy of what am I going to be able to take advantage of. That's going to change the structure of my ad account, right? So that's very important to know as well. The other thing, how big is the budget? Are they spending $100 a day? Are they spending $500 a day? Are they spending $1,000 a day? That's very important. We need to know budget. And this is very important. Very, very important. If you're starting out on your own, and this is your first store, your own brand, you have to sit down and look at your numbers and say, I'm going to spend X amount of money a month to start. If I lose all that money, I'm perfectly okay with it. And this is not financial advice, but this is something that you have to do. You're gonna say, no matter what, this is how much I'm gonna spend a month. If you're an agency, you're a media buyer, and you have a client coming to you, and you ask them, hey, what's your monthly budget? And they say, we don't have one. As long as we get results, we'll scale to the moon and back. It doesn't matter, we don't have one. I'm gonna tell you right now, run the other way. Because any real business, even if they're starting out, they set a budget from the get-go, and they will tell you, we want to start with $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month or 10 or whatever it is. But if they don't have one, make them give you one. Because no matter what, you have to set your account structure properly and you have to have some of that budget for testing. So now, let me go over the different scenarios, how I set up campaigns depending on my answer to these questions, right? So let me take this off here. And this is what we're going to do. Oops, come on. All right, I'm gonna leave it here so I can answer the questions while I go through them. So I have a hidden table, you guys didn't know that. So, all right, so if it is a brand new account, I don't know my bestseller, I have no idea what that is, right? Let's say, and this is dependent, it doesn't matter what your budget is. This is post iOS 14. So if you don't have anything, brand new account, then right off the bat, 70%, it's going to be prospecting campaigns. Okay, 70% it's going to be prospecting campaigns. What is those prospecting campaigns? What are they going to be? They're going to be interest-based campaigns if they don't have any traffic whatsoever. If the site, well, this is an ad account that has no traffic, a brand new account. You're going to do 70% of your budget. Your budget is going to be allocated to prospecting campaign. 20%, it's going to be allocated for your engagement campaigns. And that's going to be anyone who engaged with your Facebook ads, anyone who engaged with your Instagram ads, anybody who performed video views, and anybody who's visited the website. Okay, that's going to be your engagement campaigns. And then the last but not least, 10% of the ad budget, you're going to set up a DPA retargeting campaign. And this is going to consist of, and this depends on your budget, but starting out, let's say a $5,000 a month budget to start, you're going to do VC and ATC combined and start with 30 days. Okay, that's a pretty even distribution because we need to fill our middle of the funnel to take advantage of warm traffic here, because not everyone's going to buy the first time they land on your site. And then if they don't buy on that site, make them a different offer here and try to get them at the bottom of the funnel. I usually highly recommend on a brand new store to do some type of discount on the DPA retargeting campaign, because you want to get whatever amount of, you want to get the most that you can out of your campaign starting out. So this is my proper distribution for a brand new store. So let's go next. So let's say that now I take over an account that of a store that already has traffic, and I have to go in there and rebuild the whole account. So what I'm going to do is, if they have constant traffic, meaning they have SEO built out and they have, let's say, 1,000 visitors a day, or 500 visitors a day, just that warm traffic. The first thing that we want to do is take advantage of that warm traffic, because those are the people that already know you and are most likely to pull the trigger. So now everything changes. Now my 70%, well, I wouldn't even say 70%. It depends on the type of account, but I will probably do 50%. Let me see, 50. Yeah, let's do around 50%, right? And I'm just trying to give you an idea of the percentages. Usually it depends on the budget. So I don't just go like, it has to be 70. Meaning when I give you guys these numbers, I mean a majority of the budget, all right? So keep that in mind. I'm just trying to do some fast math here. So let's say 50% of my budget on an account that has constant traffic, it's going to be to my engagement audiences, right? Okay, because this is warm traffic that already knows who we are. This is probably traffic that's coming on from our SEO. They maybe read an article about the brand. They heard about the brand somewhere, and they're gonna come and land in here in your website, and you wanna start targeting based on that behavior, whether it's view content, website visitors, product pages, right? So those three, website visitors, product pages, stuff like that. And then on top of it, you're going to do the same audiences that I spoke about before, which is going to be your Facebook engagement, Instagram engagement, video views, and all that good stuff. But that's why we're raising the budget here, because we're taking care of all of our visitors here. Then what I do here is I'll put another 30% for my DPA retargeting, right? And it depends on the account. It depends on how many add to carts I'm getting, how many view contents I'm getting. So usually I will split 15% and 15% on VC, ATC, and then 15% just straight up ATC, 30 days to start, right? And then depending on the results that I'm getting here, I segment those audiences or keep them together. I don't segment as much as I used to because of iOS 14. Your audiences are much smaller now. So I try to keep it as simple as I can and try to put as many segments together. So I will just do one big ATC 30 days, one big VC view content ATC 30 days. If I see that my frequency is 1 after I'm spending all this money and it doesn't raise, then you know what? I either crank up the budget or I start segmenting more audiences. But that's going to be kind of difficult now with everything that's going on with iOS 14. So Now we have our engagement. So that leaves us with 20%. 20% to bring some new traffic. So now we put this 20% toward prospecting campaigns. Because even though we're getting traffic from organic channels and, you know, from SEO and all that stuff, you still want to bring new traffic from people who have never heard from you from both Facebook and Instagram, right? You got to remember, not everybody's reading these articles. Nobody's going out there and finding about. So we want to bring new traffic. We want to test different audiences, because this is where we're going to bring new traffic that we can create lookalikes from. We can create custom audiences from, and we can grow our email list, right? So now at that point is 20%. So now if I have an account, I'm not even going to rip this off, but if I have an account that is that do promotions that come and go, and it's not SEO, long-term SEO, we get the spikes like the Shark Tank client that I just told you about. What I like to do is I like to separate and create their own campaign, okay, that's ready to go. So on the dates that I know that their product launch is going live, or they're gonna push that product, what I do is for that segment of when they do the promotion or whatever you want to call it, I focus literally 80% of the budget on that week or the length on that promotion in my engagement, and 20% on my DPA. I basically kill this as much as I can to keep it active. But most clients, believe it or not, they're going to give you the extra budget to do whatever you want. But if you're starting out and you're working with influencers, then you want to do, and your budget is not too big, you want to keep, when those promotions go live and all those influencers are pushing your products, you definitely want to put 80% of your budget on engagement, 20 and then 20% on what do you call it? On DPA, not prospect, DPA retargeting campaigns. So you can take advantage of the influencer traffic, because if you're working with influencers, look at that at your top of the funnel, look at that at your prospecting. And then once you make the money from that, right, then you can start running prospecting campaigns. Again, these are not set numbers. This is just to give you an idea of how I like to distribute my budgets depending on the amount that I have to play with. And what I like to do is, like, even, with established accounts, I always have a 30% of the budget on the side just for testing, right? If I'm not spending all the budget into making revenue. So you got to talk to your clients, or if you're even starting out, you always want to have a set part of the budget to test new things. But starting out or taking over an account, this is how I would do it. Then once you get established and you're making money and you're scaling, then boom, move some of that budget so you can keep testing and keep things fresh. I always talk about in this channel, it's like you always want to bring new blood through interest targeting. Do not rely on lookalikes 24/7. I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to keep learning about Facebook ads and digital marketing in general, check out one of the videos right above me, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.